Everyone, you're watching a live broadcast with me, Priti Raichura, luxury wedding planner and a broadcaster based here in the UK. And I am sure this is a moment a lot of you have been waiting for. It's certainly a moment I have been waiting for. A start to the new year, and that is to speak to a world-renowned artist all the way in Mumbai, India. And I'm going to be speaking very shortly to Merlin. I'm going to say her surname, D'Souza, but I know she's going to correct me. But I hope she won't. I hope I've said it correctly. Some of you may have heard some of her amazing music. You certainly would have seen some of her promo little videos that she sent me a couple of days ago that I posted. She's not just a pianist. She's not just a composer. She has so many different talents, but she ends up singing. And yes, she does end up singing that very, very popular song that you are all used to. And I'm not going to give it away. You may have seen it on all the like promotional stuff, but let's see if we can connect to Merlin. Let me try and get her on screen. I know she's waiting for me. Hey!
Hi!
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. And how are you?
I'm very well.
Is it very cold there?
It's a cold winter's day here today, for sure. For sure it is. We're, smack bang in the middle of winter here. A very happy new year to you and to your entire team. And this is a moment I've been waiting for. We did try and get you on before Christmas, but it was all very chaotic and things didn't happen. So a real warm welcome to you, Merlin.
Thank you for having me on the show, and thank you to Eagles, for making this happen so we can soar with our stories.
Absolutely, thank you very much to Eagles. My wonderful friend Gina, who not only manages these wonderful artists like yourself, but also I work with her very, very closely when it comes to luxury destination weddings. And of course, talking about luxury destination weddings, and we will go on and have a chat about that in a little bit more detail. Just before the first lockdown, you too are supposed to come along, and perform at this celebrity wedding we were working on in Italy. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I'm sure we will meet again. When we meet again in Europe, in Italy, with Tanvi and the rest of the artists, Hamsika as well. So and you were gonna fly over and play the piano live, but we will talk about that kind of later on. But thank you so much for joining me live here today. For the benefit of those people, I'm sure everybody knows that very popular song that you sang a little while ago in terms of the promo that in terms of that little video that you sent me that I've put out on our social media platform. But you do so many amazing things. Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Can you hear me? Are you there? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, I was just saying, tell me a little bit of, okay, I think there's a little bit of a delay. I was just going to say, tell me more about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Merlin and it spells magic. Okay. And well, like the story in King Arthur and Merlin, right? What's my Excalibur? Okay, what shall I say? I think it's music. I was born into a very musical family, Goan household, and it was a very tiny apartment. And in that tiny apartment were 4 siblings, parents, 2 cats, and 2 hens.
Oh, 2 hens! Wow.
Yeah, and well, there was a pride of place was a little piano, and every, I think, Goan household and a Parsi household in India has to learn the piano, the violin, maybe saxophone, trumpet, and I was made to learn the piano, but I was playing by ear at the age of 6. So that's when my dad says, we need to, send her for Trinity College of Music, London, for exams. And so then the journey started. started playing in school. I started playing Konkani and Portuguese music earlier, a lot of folk music. And the school, we come from a community called Bandra, where lots of parishes and churches, and we are encouraged to give back to the community. I think so. It started for me. The start of music was the community, and my teacher always would tell me, don't ever forget, no matter where you go in life, what you do in life, use these tenets of music, which is melody, rhythm, and harmony, right? So for me, these three elements of music are really important, and they apply to life itself, And I think the fourth element is
Oh dear, robotic. Are you still there? Lost you. Where is our lovely Merlin?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
we've got you
yeah.
back. We've got you back. I lost you there for a little while.
No.
You went robotic.
Yeah. So, okay. And, for me, the first strains of music in my heart as a 2 or 3-year-old child, I discovered melody, rhythm, and harmony. I used to live by the railway tracks, right? The railways were, trains were passing through. And in the dead of night, I would hear the call of the azan. There were mosques on the other side. And there was a church at the back. So I would hear the, Ave Maria bells ringing. And I would hear the call of prayer. And in the middle of it, dadak, 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 the sound of the train. So there was the rhythm of life. There was the harmony of two different faiths. And there was melody, each one doing their melody, And suddenly there would be silence. And I said, wow, this is the beginning of music for me. So that's my growing up, yeah.
Wow, amazing. So music, you come from a musical family, but you've also, and I am gonna let the cat out the bag here, because you've been involved in some amazing Bollywood, very famous tracks. And I know yesterday you shared one of them with me, and that is,
yes, of course.
go on, I'm gonna let you do this one. This is your.
Guess what, Priti? Today I think happens to be Hrithik Roshan's birthday.
Okay.
And so we're having this chat on a perfect day. I was playing in a church at a gospel event, and Sunday Chandelier, the main music composer, came in and heard me play. He says, I love this sound of gospel, of jazz, and I'm doing a movie, and would you like to be a part of it? You can co-compose with me. You'll have to arrange. You'll have to be there, when we're locking the studio, when we're opening the studio. You can be my slave. And I jumped and I said yes. And the movie was Kabhi Khushi, Kabhi Gham. And so when you listen to this song, you'll hear strains of gospel and jazz, and it's really different from the rest of the Bollywood songs. And I think I thank Sandesh for letting me be part of this, full marks to him for believing in me and what I could bring to the song. And so I have a few words written here. So here's the scene. Hrithik Roshan is supposed to be wooing Kareena. And he enters, guess where? A club and a pub in London.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. And then he comes in, he's trying to woo her with his dance and his muscles and his six-pack, and and that's the scene. And so, Karan Johar told us, this is the scene. He's coming in. So I want flair. I want, hip hop. I want funk. I want him to woo her. And Sandesh had already written the earlier melody lines. And so I said, okay, why don't we start it like this? And so.
Wow, wait. Listen, guys, listen up. We're having a live.
So I said, देखा तुमको जब से, हाँ देखा तुमको यारा, तुमसे कोई अच्छा है ना, तुमसे कोई प्यारा. So that's the way. So he says, keep it very slow and languid, and and then we shoot to the dancers. Right? So I said, okay, so what do we do? And he says, no, but before that happens, give me a line which is exciting for Kareena to say, oh my God, she's with her friends, and she's in this mood which says, whatever. You know, she's always
Because attitude.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's always like that.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, Asif, and I came up with this, Asif Ali Beg, and he says, she's the girl I want. She's the girl I need. She's sent to me from heaven above. She's so cool. She's so fine. Out of 10, I'll give her 9.
Wow.
Right? And then it goes, you know, okay, I'm going to wear my rose tinted glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
fine.
it says, yeah. देखा तुमको जब से देखा तुमको यारा तुमसे कोई अच्छा है ना तुमसे कोई प्यारा नजरों ना फेरो तुम मेरे हो मेरे तुम कह दो ना you are my Sonia. And then back to when he says, after he woos her, he says, keh diya, you are my Sonia. I said, you are my Sonia. I said, you are my Sonia. Keduna, you are my Sonia. Keduna, you are my Sonia. I said, you are my Sonia. I said, you are my Sonia.
Woohoo! That was awesome. Come on, all you people that are joining me live. I want to see some claps coming up. That was awesome.
You know what the beauty of this song is, because I can't do that, but if you go back and you listen to the song, there were 40 singers because Karan wanted the gospel flavor.
Sure.
So we have 20 female singers, 20 male singers. Imagine 40 singers singing Kedona or You Are My. So we get this expansive. So I think for me, that was a path-breaking moment for me too, as an arranger and a writer, and someone to add my flavor that I grew up with. Little would I know one day I would use my beginnings and the rumblings of the way I grew up as a musician into a Bollywood blockbuster. And of course there was one more song, but we'll come back to that later. Or do you want to hear it now?
You can, of course. This is your song. This is your platform. Go for it. You've gone a little bit robotic, but yes.
Yeah.
So, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. Do you want to hear another song from?
Do we want to hear another song? Oh, of course, we want to hear another song.
So so this there was another song, and where Shah Rukh Khan is going back as a flashback with Kajol and with the pyramids in Egypt.
Right.
And Sandesh had written this beautiful song, and he says, but I'm still finding it incomplete. Oh, Merlin, what would you add to it? What do you think will add to that? And of course, I got a chance to also write all the chords, write the music, score the music along with Suresh Lalwani, an excellent string arranger. And there was, of course, Ankur, a fabulous guitarist, and Ramu and Anupam. We had a great team. I think for me, music is not just a singular voice, it's the team and the entire team behind the song. So that's why I mentioned their names. And this song is really beautiful and special to me because it is, I think, one of the best written ballads ever. I'm sure a lot of people have heard, this. It's so there's this scene where Kajol is, in the pyramids, and with the sun setting, it's beautiful. And this is the opening line that I came up with. It says,
oh, I like this song. We know this song.
Yeah, so that's the opening line, right? And it is Suraj ko amadham chand chand laga aasmaan ye hai
I
So
love that. I love it. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. And you know, sometimes when we have
yeah.
like weddings and we have some really wonderful luxury weddings, and especially when the destination weddings, and you'll know this, and I know Gina will know this as well. And of course, I know Samir is also joining us. Samir, our partner in Italy, you know, who we were working on together when we were planning this celebrity wedding. And in fact, you'll know this because when we were having these conversations with the couple that was supposed to get married, they were going to enter to a instrumental, and that's what your role was going to be, playing the
Wow.
piano. Yeah, you didn't know this
Oh
because
my God.
we were still
You
having
know,
those conversations.
yeah, talking about weddings, I think it's a nice thing if we could brand weddings. What do you think, Gina?
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Where is Gina? Is my friend Gina there? I
Yeah,
think
Gina, come on.
Gina, Gina from Eagle. There's my friend.
Hey, Priti.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm very well. Thank you so much for setting up this wonderful interview with Merlin.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
And Gina has also been behind all the other interviews that you know that I've had. With Gina, my friend in Mumbai. From you know, not only do we work on weddings, we work on events together, and Gina has
Absolutely, yeah.
got other artists on the show here as well. So it's lovely to see you.
It's so good to be here.
This is
Thank
the
you.
lady behind. This is the lady
Thank
behind.
you.
Yeah. So we were talking about, branding. So that's what Gina and I have been working on.
Yep.
We're talking about events and wedding planners because you're such an amazing authority. And I was reading somewhere about you and it says you just
Yeah.
have to wave your magic wand. Voila, you make it memorable. So
Right.
so we did a wedding a couple of years ago, and we actually branded. You were talking about this instrumental when the bride comes come in Italy. So we the Varmala, I think in
Yeah.
weddings, in this tradition of the Varmala, is that the
Yeah, Varmala. Yes.
Varmala?
Yes.
So I had written a special tune when she crosses and goes over the bridge and enters, and she garlands her bridegroom to be.
Yeah.
And maybe we should think of doing something like that. So I created a theme especially for the Varmala.
Wow.
And so I had to go to Jaipur and match how many steps she would take to reach the section.
See, that I love that because what you've just spoke about there is the detail that goes in, like
Yes.
when we are planning weddings.
Absolutely.
And what role of yours? So when we do, like, when we plan bespoke weddings, celebrity weddings, every step has to be accounted for, like what you just said. And of course,
Yes.
artists like yourself, we have to rely on you to say, you are the expert of making
Yes.
that happen. So you work out what you need to do for your
Yeah.
everything else.
Yeah.
And Samir, who's also joining us live from Italy.
Wow.
Samir, myself, and Gina, we've worked together on lots of these weddings, and we're going to
Yeah.
drag you along with us as well, Merlin. This is, like I said, a bit of a, I know that we didn't get to that stage, but at that celebrity wedding we were planning before lockdown, you two were supposed to be there. So, but I cut you up there. So sorry, do carry on what you were saying.
Yeah.
There was a
So
meat
no,
on the
I was just saying, creating a special brand, at that moment. Fine, you have the band playing, you have everyone singing bhajans and, invoking chants.
Yeah.
But how do they go back feeling it was so special, right?
Yeah,
Gina?
absolutely.
So I created this instrumental track. In fact, we'll share it with you.
Yeah.
And guess what? The following year, the couple invited me to perform just that song at their house in Kowloon in Hong
Wow.
Kong.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
amazing.
we were there at their beautiful house cut into the mountains and playing the very tune that they, said, thank you for making it so special. So there you go. Like you said, God is in the detail. Everything is in the detail.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
it has to be. It has to be when you are planning these detailed weddings, and often myself and other planners will agree. And like I said, I know that I've got Samir with us, and Gina will agree that sometimes you'll speak to clients and they'll just like, oh yeah, I'm having a wedding, and we'll manage it. I'll manage
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'll manage it with my friends and family. But actually, the way weddings now are supposed to be planned or planned to detail, you need an expert behind that. I'm not just saying because obviously it's my business, but of course that is what's
required.
The fees that you pay this is what you pay for. It is that detail. And I know, when Samir, myself, and Gina, when we got together in Italy, I know the plans we were making. Like I know the detail. We would sit up until 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, putting these plans together, just because we didn't want no oversight on anything we touch. I'm a perfectionist. I know Gina is, and I know Samir is, and there's nothing. When we get together, it's like, we're like the perfectionist, because
no room for error.
No room for anything.
And I think we all have to play our roles to the hilt.
Yeah.
And I, as a musician, I would go a step further and see that wedding or the corporate event is so special that they go back with the memory, making it memorable. I think
lifetime memory.
No matter if it's a small event, it's a big event, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
We did a wedding a couple of years ago for Mr. Praful Patel's daughter, and we had 30 or 33 musicians.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was the big thing, it was the best thing, but even that had detail. Like everyone was outfitted. There were tuxes. There were, the girls were in white with silver, and
attention to detail.
They curated my outfit because my back was to the audience. So the back was, was fabulous, more than the front, because they're only going to watch your back at the piano. Imagine that detail.
Yeah. Of course, and you have to, like we just said, generally people that are trying to plan their own weddings, and if you want luxury, you've got to go to the right people, and that what you just spoke about is luxury, is that detail. And when you plan an event, whether it's a corporate event or whether it's a party, or whether it's someone's wedding reception or even a wedding, that detail has to be there, because sometimes you can forget and overlook it all as well. But like I said, when the three of us get together, not only do we cause havoc and trouble, but I know we are the best of the best.
You're not supposed to let the secrets out.
Okay, make that fall.
No, of course, we're not going to. So, Merlin, going back to yourself.
The Indian market as well, right, Priti? We've been talking about opening the Indian market for a lot of your clients there.
Of course.
Well, we're talking all the palaces and the forts in Rajasthan, down south, Goa. Yeah. So those are things we're working on getting together as well. So.
Yeah. She's just let the secret out, but yes, that is coming. And Gina, you're going to come on my show at some stage as well, because something that Gina, myself, Samir, and other planners, what we do have is we have access, and this is exclusive access to ourselves, is the Rajasthani palaces in Rajasthan, where we can plan weddings. So these are not made up palaces. These are the real palaces.
The real palaces and forts, some of the forts as well.
And we have access to them. Just like how we have access to the royal palaces here.
Yes, I read about that. Yes.
In the UK, we have them in Rajasthan. So sometimes, clients will contact us and say, you know what, I want a lavish, all-out luxury wedding. So I was like, okay, here's packages. And of course, we have packages around Europe. But sometimes people want to go that extra mile. India is obviously, that's home to all of us. So, Rajasthan, but even, we can do worldwide weddings, and we can do them with our eyes closed. At the moment, obviously, because of the whole lockdown and the situation we're in. But when we overcome this, we're not, and I just want to re-emphasize this. I know, Merlin, Gina, all the rest of us, we've not been sitting at home just twiddling our thumbs. There's a lot of work still going on in the background, that when things start to normalize, we are going to go with a big bump. We know we're
ready to go.
Yes.
We're ready to go.
That's what I think, that's what we did. We kept the momentum going in different ways, new ways. You know, because so we tried to make, as they say, paisa vasool, full use.
Absolutely.
You get your money.
Got to be done.
Get your money.
Full paisa vasool of the time.
Yeah.
So, doing chat shows, creating, creating little films. So I started something called the Piano Diaries, where every song tells a story.
Oh, wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So I, in fact, you could speak and I could create music to you whilst you're talking and chatting, Priti, yes, and tell a story through that. So, so that has picked up momentum, and I'm not saying it's financially a big thing, but you never know. You never know, and someone. And I think thanks to that, someone saw a couple of them, and it led to another event of me performing for an event. So I think yes, never belittle any little new attempt that you attempt.
But that again is amazing talent, because sometimes people want something unique at a wedding or a corporate event, and I will go on and talk to you about corporate events in a little while.
Yes.
So going back to weddings, which is something we were going to, like I said, work on, and that kind of is amazing. So if you are able to write a song while somebody is speaking, I mean, how amazing is that? Like, you are creating
storytelling. Yes.
You are storytelling, and it's at that moment. So, I've had artists actually, kind of painting live while the mandap ceremony, while they're going around the fire, while the wedding's taking place. And by the end of the wedding, you see this, amazing, painting. But this is something different. This is amazing what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's an audio experience, and I think that's picking up because I think it's another facet of my musical yatra is also branding. So, and that you don't need a picture, you don't need, if the whole world were blind, what would your brand sound like?
Yes.
Okay. What would Priti Raichura events sound like? So I've worked on a couple of brands, and one being, so I'm a creative partner with Brand Music, and we did recent one was MasterCard. So what is so similarly for corporates, as I said, for weddings, make that particular couple very special. If it's in a palace, then we give them a kind of a regal flavor, or maybe romantic. The era gone by, because if they're going back, because if the visualization and your entire planning is one of regal and regality, so the music too will follow that. So the concept of branding is you have your avatar, which is your personality, and your rasa, which is your emotion. So your personality could be caregiver, innovator, a leader, a ruler, and your emotion could be, excited, calm, carefree, right? So I take your avatar and your rasa, and I brand you in 5 notes of music or 3 notes of music, and that becomes your musical footprint.
Wow. Amazing.
So that's really important. And so MasterCard came up and said, they are priceless. If you read the MasterCard, it says the tagline, right? It says priceless moments.
Yes,
right?
Right,
so we had to go through this whole process. And out of 14 or tunes, or because it's MasterCard, usually within 3 options they choose one. And so they chose this, and it happened to be mine for the company. And so I was really excited. So I also have Camila Cabello singing my tune before she came in for the Grammy Awards on 2019. And it was really exciting that those 5 notes of music, along with the entire tune, which is about 45 seconds, was done in Latin. It was done in Arabic, I think, strains, Indian, Southeast Asia. The same tune. So imagine, at a wedding, if you're in Italy next year, Gina. Well,
this year.
So maybe I'll take a little hint of Italy, and the person, and India, and the couple's leanings, basically, who they are, and I brand you. For example, like in MasterCard, it was.
I'm going to move out so she has room.
So
I'll catch up with you later.
So MasterCard, so they said, we are priceless, and so this is what I came up with. And by the way, it toppled McDonald's to become the best audio brand in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
So
so this is the tune. Yeah. Okay, there are 5, 6 notes, yeah. But the important thing in music, I think, is for people to remember. You can have jazz where it's very variating, and it is a lot of freedom. Jazz is who you are.
Sure.
And yeah, whereas pop music and retro music is more grounded. It's got a memorable section to it.
Yeah.
So this is what I came up with for MasterCard, and
Okay.
it was like this. Imagine this is being played for the Europa League.
Yeah.
Imagine a stadium singing like that.
Yeah, amazing.
That's if they're sponsoring, for example, a certain football.
Football, I was going to say, yeah.
Football, yeah, whether it's Newcastle or Manchester or Arsenal, whoever. So imagine them playing this theme,
So people would recognize.
Yeah, to Rabble, yeah. So that's
they
the
would
tune.
recognize.
And when we did the same tune for Camila Cabello, it was like. So it's like a Latin kind of a feel,
Oh.
And so that was the chance, I think, with brand music that we got to explore. So branding. And so I branded airlines also. And the sound of Reliance Petroleum. And also CNN in India, CNN IBN in India, the news channel.
Yeah.
And social influencers just like you. And guess what? I would like to brand you, Priti, right now. I would love to brand you.
Seriously?
I can feel myself. What does Priti mean to me? Gina, what is Priti to you? So I need Conan, you're listening to Priti. What do you think is Priti?
She's a trendsetter for sure.
Trendsetter. Nice. What else?
She's a winner. Huh?
A winner. Conan?
I can't think.
What do you feel out of the chat?
Colin's thinking
because
creative, she comes out
creative, okay. So memorable and creative, yeah. Energetic. Nice.
Wow.
So he says energetic. Of course, I don't have my gizmos here. I don't have my laptop. It's behind us. It's at the studio there.
Okay.
So
this is so cool.
So I don't know. So Priti, do you sing?
Do I sing? I'm a bathroom singer. A bathroom singer.
So,
I'll try.
Give me any note of music. Give me a note of music. Anything. For example, okay. Okay, give me one. Okay, fine. So give me one note from there.
Sa.
Okay, you got the sa. Yeah. One more note, another note.
Ga.
Re. Okay, that's re. That's
okay.
re. Sa, re, fine. And give me one more note. Oh, Colin, you're the singer. Colin, give me another note.
Come on, Colin. Miss Colin.
Oh, wow. He's giving me a knee. So,
a knee.
And one more note. Can I do one note?
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, okay.
Fifth note. So,
wow, this is so cool. I can't believe this is happening.
Okay, those are the notes given by you, by all of us here, right?
Okay.
So, energetic. Gina, you said?
Trendsetter.
Creative. Okay. Creative. So
I'm loving this.
So here we go. So trendsetter, modern, contemporary, even though I'm playing it on the piano.
Traditional. Modern, yet traditional.
Yet traditional. So That's your sound.
Oh, that is mine. That is unique to me.
That's your sound. So after this interview, after this chat, sometime in the month, my gift to you is I'm going to produce this, and it'll be your sound as a social influencer, as a trendsetter.
You can have it on your website from people enter.
So on your website, when people enter your website, to when you're doing your chat shows, everything, you start with different variations. For Diwali, you'll get a different one. For Christmas, it'll be different, using the same notes that Colin, Gina, you and I did, which was right?
So cool.
So using, of course, it'll be studio generated, it'll be well produced, and it'll have a modern approach yet, you know. So when you're doing shows in Italy, maybe we'll have a little bit of Italian flavor to it. Right?
Oh my God, where's she gone? Thank you so much for that. That is untouched.
Yeah. So there's a completion. So I feel your Priti Raichura gives people the complete experience, and it's complete. So the completion will come from Colin's note, which is so, and the start of everything has to have the sa. It starts with the sa, the om, the beginning, you know, of life, and that's the sa, right? So
I love this.
You're a ray of sunshine, you know. And that's the fifth note, and it's very important for harmony, right? So what I'm going to give you is rhythm, melody, harmony, and sometimes some silence.
Cool. That is so lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gina. Thank you. Really touched. Thank you so much. And I certainly will. I'm gonna. My website is actually being revamped as well. It's being revamped, you know, as we speak, and hopefully the next few months that will be ready, because there's so much detail you know, still to put on. Then I just haven't had the chance. So this will definitely.
So this was just a rough. This was the first draft, right?
Wow.
So it's extremely raw. But yes, as we go by, you know, in a couple of weeks or so, we'll have it produced, and so it's just your gift.
Oh, thank you. I'm lost for words. I'm actually lost for words. So that, and then it's not often I get lost for words. I'm the one that's like, thank you. I'm extremely touched by that. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly look at the messages and then come back to having a chat with you, because there's lots of messages that have been coming through. So let's have a quick look. Oh, let me scroll up. So we've got Nirmalaben Bujani. She's like, hi. We've got Harinder Singh Jagdev saying very nice. Dharmesh, who also helps out with Sabras Radio. He's saying hello from Team Sabras. We have Dilip Odedra saying hello, how are you? Sushma Majitya saying, you know, I think later on she was saying how amazing that music is. We have Keith Sharma joining us saying hi, hello, Keith here. Samir, like I mentioned, you know, someone who we work with very, very closely. Samir is saying, hey, Priti Ben and Merlin, happy to see you again. Hope you're doing well. Always nice to join your live interviews, and God bless. So thank you so much for that, Samir. And of course, him and Gina having conversations as well. And then we have Dinesh Parekh saying, very nice. Sushma is saying, can you sing the rest of it, please? I think this is going back to when you started off with this song, you know,
So we'll come back. On the next show, we're coming back with Hamsika, and she's going to sing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll get the real vocalist into the studio.
That's one of my questions to you. So I know yourself, Hamsika, Tanvi Shah, who's also been on the show, and Hamsika, who unfortunately we had really bad signal, and I did say I'm going to get her back on, you know, at some point. And working with Ego events, you know, in India, I'm like, yeah, of course, that's Mara Ghar Ka Hi event management company here. We're going to have all of you guys on. But what I was thinking, and I haven't even ran this past Gina, but what I was thinking, it'd be so cool. And for those people like Sushma, who's just said, she's just asked, hi, you should do music lessons. Well, just before this interview, I did have a thought, and I was thinking, it'd be so good if yourself Hamsi, Tanvi, and whoever else, whichever artist,
Yeah.
we can do some online, have a little bit of online fun like this, and you can teach all of us rich
Yeah.
Indians here.
Just the basic principles and basic elements, right?
Yeah.
Of a complete entertainer.
I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
And you'll see how bad I am as, in terms of a bathroom singer. But no, generally it will be just so good to have all you guys on, and maybe I'm gonna speak to Gina about this in more detail. Maybe somebody can get others from Europe as well. And maybe we can actually run some live workshops, whether they're live or pre-booked. But I think we should do that because I think we'll have so much fun. So Sushma, I know you've just asked the question, but that's definitely something we are looking at doing some live workshop or pre-booked workshops with these amazing artists from India. So watch this space, guys. I know that you guys have done this already in India, and there's no reason, we've got modern technology. There's no reason why we can't do that here. So how do you feel about that, Merlin?
Excellent. I think also when you teach, you learn so much more.
Of course.
So I think it's a very important to give, and because in the process you learn new things, of how to impart knowledge.
Yeah.
And it's also empowering, not just for the receiver, but for the giver.
Yes.
So I think teaching is a fabulous, noble aspect of anyone, of any personality, of anyone, no matter what your profession is. And it's so it's exciting to start these lessons. And I did do so during the pandemic. One of the offshoots that happened was I did a few master classes for Tarsim Mittal and for Daru School of Music and for the British Council also. And on branding, on advertising, because I've done a lot of advertising also. And whilst doing this, it was amazing. I was teaching myself ways of reaching the listener, and making them understand it's so simple. So breaking it down basically, And I think everyone with experience should get out and share that experience with others.
Of course, yeah. And I think that's amazing because it's not, you do so much. You said that, your blockbuster was, when you helped out, or when it wasn't just help out, you were actually a part of the full team, bringing the blockbuster song that we're all aware of, You Are My Sonia. But, you just touched upon corporates, and we've already spoke about corporates and how you now, work with corporate, like very, very big companies like MasterCard, and you've overstepped, like McDonald's, advertising, where you said that, what you put together in terms of that bespoke music for them. And that's what people want. They want something really unique to themselves.
Yeah, and I think we should also brand countries and states and towns. And why not?
I know something about you that a little birdie told me that I'm not allowed to say right now, but I know that there's something coming your way. And the clue is she's half Indian, she's American, and she's just been voted in the elections at the moment in America. I'm going to keep my mouth shut there, but I know something's coming your way.
Let's hope it happens.
I hope it happens.
Great, and I think music being such a universal language, it can cross any hurdles, any barriers. And as an instrumentalist, I think it's even it's easier for me, then because vocals can sometimes restrict if it's in a language. So even with my branding and my music, I try to use non-syllables, no words. And one of those also was last year I did the branding for Dubai tourism. For Dubai.
Wow, really?
Yeah, with and Shah Rukh Khan and Gwyneth Paltrow were the brand ambassadors. So I was the fifth or something music director which came on board. They had rejected about 4 of them. And Marcos was from Amsterdam and Holland. Yeah, from Holland. Yeah. And we communicated via, just digitally. And there were 6 films, so it was very exciting, highlighting the beauty of Dubai and the special places like La Perla or the shopping malls or the sand dunes, things like that. And each one was like a typical Bollywood film because that's Shah Rukh, right?
Of course.
And it was exciting and so by the time it filtered down to me, there was no money, there was no budget, But this is what I say, Priti. I always tell students also, never let budgets restrict your creativity.
Absolutely.
Because just because I'm getting paid maybe £100, I'm getting paid £1,000 or £5,000, doesn't matter. So I said, no, I'm going to go all for it, and it paid off. So it was exciting creating a sound because their tagline was #BeMyGuest, and when you have something like hashtag, how do you put music to a hashtag, right? So if you go onto my channel, you'll hear the end when the #BeMyGuest comes in. There's a very weird kind of sound. So it's not musical, but it's just a sound element, So I think sound design is just as important as the music. So that's what I've learned through my advertising years. And it helped when I did Dubai tourism. So so it's exciting. So maybe we'll brand parts of Italy next time.
Yeah, I think we should. And in fact, Samir is saying, wow, it's one of my favorite songs from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. And like I said, I'm sure. And we have Sanjay Rugani also joined us. Sanjay does a lot of work in London.
Wow. Hi, Sanjay.
He works with, he's got his own wealth management company. He's somebody else we need to brand.
We should brand him.
Yeah, let's brand him.
So Sanjay, we're going to brand you. You don't know that yet, but we know that. We're going to do it anyway. So, but he's just said, nice to hear of the detail of the Varmala. We have David Fernandez joining us. I wonder if that's a relative. Is that a relative of our friend Gina there?
Gina, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's my son.
Okay, and Sushma is saying we should have this kind of program more. It's really interesting. Well, do stay tuned because we will be bringing you lots more. We have Harish Pai Rajaguru joining us also from Mumbai. He's also a singer.
Wow.
Harish Pai, so he's also joining us right now. Nirmala Pujani saying fascinating. Nilesh Hindocha saying this is awesome. And Sushma saying especially during lockdown, you are also amazing. You're also wonderful. So yes, they are all very, very wonderful. So Merlin, for those people that want some branding doing in terms of what you just showcased for me, and I'm certainly going to use that. But what about, we've got other people like I just said, Sanjay is somebody else. We've got Nirmala as well, who does she does a lot of community work. She does, she's a journalist by background, and she does some amazing work. For anybody wanting to brand themselves so that people can recognize just from that music, just from that tone, where can they contact you? Of course, they can come to me and I'll pass on the details.
Well, the eagle soars high, but the eagle also lands. So, So, well, as they say, "Eh dil mushkil Jeena."
Where is she?
Ye Jeena Meri Jaan.
Ye Jeena Meri Jaan. Yeah, she's my Jaan as well. Ye Jeena Meri Jaan.
So that was extempo, right? So yes, branding is, and even creating anthems. With the company I work with, we create anthems. So I think every company, no matter what, whether it's digital, whether it's media, whether it's banking, it's nice for them to have their own anthem. And in times like this, most importantly, the COVID times, I think when spirits are low and, salaries are half or, quarter down, and creating an anthem. So that's what we did recently, creating an anthem for Tata Capital.
Oh, yeah.
And there was another one for HDFC Bank, where we got people from the company itself, non-musicians, to sing it. So they feel included, So we could do something like that. Get the employees along with a couple of known singers, well-known singers, and create your anthem. So it's like school, when you went to school. When I went to school in Bandra, I don't know, Gina, you did it? Same school. We start with the school anthem. Right? Everyone had an anthem. And we would sing the school anthem at special moments. So why not companies have their own anthem?
I agree. I think that's a wonderful idea, and I think it's really good because you want to be unique. We do so much work where we take pride in what we do. We pay attention to detail. We like to be bespoke. We like to be exclusive. So for that exclusivity to come out, I think that's a wonderful idea, and I think lots of companies would agree with me on there as well. So no, for sure. So for those of you that are watching and maybe want, your own branding doing through your own anthem, you can give Gina, and I will be posting her details up as well. And to get hold of Gina's, details, you can either contact me or you will see Gina's details coming up, on the posts that I will be putting up after this.
Yeah, and also the pandemic times has made us rethink and package things differently. Smaller units, like a 2-piece band, a 3-piece band. Like Gina organized this Diwali, at Times Square.
We also did the Christmas, which Priti is aware of. The Christmas party, Samir and Priti saw those.
Yes. So, how we got together, just Hamzika and I, just 2 of us. So we recorded some of the music and we played live along with that. So it adds, to the allure of the sound also. Not being minimal, but being big and grand at the same time. Well, of course, you can create music with just a guitar or a piano and just a few rhythms, depending on what the show is, who is your audience. So, yes, the pandemic.
And that's good to know, because even though, the UK is in lockdown at the moment, we don't know how long the lockdown will last. But eventually, when weddings are back on, I know that they're back on in India, on a smaller scale. But when weddings are back here, I think we'll probably start off on a smaller scale probably as well. And I've had lots of, and I mentioned this to Gina yesterday, that, I've been speaking to clients again that are wanting to plan their weddings for this year. And they want luxury weddings, say for no more than 30 people. But they've got, they want it to be luxury for those 30 people.
Yes.
So you could still do lives. Yourself and Hamsika can do lives from Mumbai. Send that over. Be part of the party to make it extremely exclusive, right? You could do that for clients.
Or we can have a combination in case you're worried about internet and the lag, So maybe record the entire concert exclusively for the party. And also be there live to take you through that, saying, okay, in case there's a problem, the video is played, along with us interacting live along with that. So we can find a blend of playing live and recording it.
Yes.
That would be awesome. And I know that's what you did for the Christmas party that we had for Destination Weddings, that Samir, were led on. So I think that would be awesome, because you're absolutely right. If you did a pre-recorded, very bespoke, very exclusive concert, for clients, and then if we saw you live as well, we can try and connect with you. That will make it even more unique for the clients. That's awesome. And that's such a, we are now thinking outside the box in terms of the future of weddings, the future of events, in terms of how can we still make them really engaging and still make them really, really fun. So I think that's an amazing, thing that you just said there. So no, that would be really, really good. Now, in terms of yourself, you already spoke about, you come from a musical family, but from the age of 3, I think you said. But who was your inspiration as you were growing up?
Through the years, yes, there have been many people who've inspired me, but definitely my music teacher, Mrs. Blanche Vegas, she's 93 and she's still playing. She's amazing, and so she told me, I know you're learning classical, but there was always this pop feel inside me, which is waiting to get out. And she says, doesn't matter, use your classical knowledge, but finish your diploma. So I did manage to finish my LTCL from London, my Trinity College of my diploma in music. But so I use that in scoring for films, scoring for big bands. So it's never lost. Knowledge is never lost, And of course, my mother, most important, because she taught me she says, talent is one thing, but you have to be a complete package, and I said, what do you mean? So at the age of 8 or 9, I was a artist for All India Radio, and I said, no, I don't want to go. And she said, no, you got to do it. People have to hear what you're doing with your classical music. So I would take a Beatles song like Michelle or something like that and twist it around on its head, you know. But I said, no, I don't want to go there. So she says she would bribe me with a new dress. Okay. And I fell for it. So I would go into the studios and people would be by the radio listening to Merlin, you know, play her rendition of Beatles. And then I realized she tricked me because nobody can see what I'm wearing, right? So I would fall for it. So she says, no, even when you enter the studio, it's important. People feast with their eyes, you know? And it happened to my first music exam, my initial exam. She stitched me this beautiful dress, very flouncy. And I said, Ma, he's not going to. I said, Ma, he's not going to see my dress, the examiner. He was a British gentleman, and he had flown down to have the exam, to do the exams. And as I entered in, he looked at me and said, what a pretty dress.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he carried me. He lifted me because I was very tiny. And he put me on the stool. And he says, go. And well, I stood first in the country in my exam. I don't know if it was the dress or the music. You know? So that's when I learned, you know, it's important for us as artists, you know, so Mom inspired me so much through the years, you know, and when I started having my own band, you know, there was very little money left. There was just 5,000 rupees left at that time after paying everyone. And we were passing by a boutique and there was a French beautiful dress made in France. And I said, Ma, I've just got like a 5,000 or 6,000 rupees left. So she says, you like it? Buy it. Because it's your first event on your own, you know, and it's important. The money will come. Don't sweat the money. So, and then, you know, through the years, you know, she encouraged me to save, buy my own apartments, and I, you know, she's my inspiration.
Oh, that's so lovely. And everybody always has, you know, like an inspiration, and yours is your mother, which is lovely. You know, to hear. Just going back, we have Paswan Pai saying, we can keep adding these positive vibes. Of course, you know, in the UK, we're in major lockdown at the moment. So he's saying these positive vibes are adorable. We also have Amita Ben saying, hi, Priti, this is awesome. You are doing a great job. And we have Mustafa joining us from Atlanta in America as well. So a warm welcome to you from America.
Hi, Mustafa.
Now, time goes so fast when I speak to any, you know, time goes so fast. Whenever I have any of you guys from Mumbai joining me, you know, and especially when we have Gina behind any of this, time always goes really, really fast. So before we finish, what are you going to finish off with? I think lots of people.
Some piano?
I think some piano. Awesome.
Colin, what do I play? Gina?
Come
on, Colin. Can we see Colin?
What would we sing? Singing, okay. Let me see. Maybe I'll do something, you know, let's have fun. I don't want to show off or something. So there was this piece where you hear. Can you tell me what this piece is? Everyone on the chat also has to guess. You know, when your car is backing, you hear it. When your water filter is running, you hear the tune. It's a classical piece. Can you tell me what it is?
Is it Bollywood?
No, it's a classical piece.
Oh, it's a classical piece.
And it is...
help me out, guys.
What is a famous tune? You know, you start your car and it'll play. You're backing, it'll play. You know, it's a classical tune where... Few Release. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. So it says...
Oh, cool.
Know this one?
Oh, beautiful.
Have you heard this one?
Yes.
Right? So, I'm going to twist it on its head for a bit.
Okay. Love it.
I'm just going to go for it, okay?
Amazing. Seriously, absolutely amazing. That really was, and I'm sure the viewers will also agree with me. You have Shittal. Shittal, I think you joined us a little bit late, but if you look back, you'll also see
But
how
yeah, the show is on Facebook. They can watch
it's
the
on
show
Facebook. It'll
anytime,
be
right,
on.
Gina?
It'll be kept on.
So Gina, come on.
YouTube.
Can I get Gina as we say bye?
Yes, of course. I want to see Gina. Gina, Gina, Gina. Gina Meri Jaan. I love that bit. Gina Meri Jaan. So Gina and
So actually, for all your viewers, we got to sing for you, right? Gina,
oh, come on. You can all join in. Everybody can come in with
कभी रिक्शा कभी स्कूटर कभी Incidentally, this song was also arranged and co-written by my father-in-law, Merlin D'Souza, for Raj Kapoor. So,
excellent.
So it
wow.
kind of runs in the family.
It's just your whole. It's not just from your birth family, but also from your in-laws as well. Amazing.
You got to meet her son sometime, Priti. Saxophonist, amazing saxophonist, and also a composer himself, a young man.
Yeah, so he's just done
brilliant.
He's just done a track for Meera Nair for a Suitable Boy. One of the songs in the.
We'll have him on the show, and I'm sure everybody will agree that they would love to have him on the show at some stage as well. So all I can say is thank you from the bottom of my heart. This has been so amazing.
It's been fun.
Yeah, and it's been a great start to the new year, especially, you know, seeing as the UK are back in lockdown. This will be available on Facebook and, of course, on the Let's Chat to Priti Raichura YouTube page as well. So, you know, anybody who wants to watch this whole show again, of course you can.
Thank you, Priti. You're amazing. And let's connect in more ways than one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we have just Asmita saying mind-blowing. It has been mind-blowing. And I'm going to, sorry, excuse me 1 second. I'm going to just take a sip of hot water. It has been absolutely mind-blowing having you on the show here today. I know our paths will definitely be crossing. And if Gina's got anything to do with it, Gina will hold me to it, saying, I need to have, you know, and for me, it's always a pleasure working with Gina as it is with Samir. So, you know, thank you to all my extended family like Gina and Samir, you know, right across the globe.
And thank you, Samir. And from my band, I'm sorry I couldn't get the whole band, but here's my band saying bye to you. Bye.
That's super cool. That is so good. No, thank you. And, you know, guys, watch this space because we will be connecting with Merlin and Hamsika and also Tanvi and other artists.
And you know what? Before we go, I forgot to tell you, my first connect with music also as a teenager was with West End. West End's Willie Russell's Blood Brothers. So that was my first play that I redid in India. You know? So theatre is also a very integral part. Actually, that's how you know, I discovered my love for music, you know. And if there was ever a physical thing as inspiring, it was my first pair of earphones, headphones, because I could hear strings coming from here and guitars coming from here and violins and second violin and cellos and drums and tablas. So that's when I said I want to be a producer and a composer.
Amazing. And you are an amazing producer and you're an all-rounder. And I can't, you know, when all this lockdown business is over, you know, first trip I am making is to India because I need to come and see all of you guys. You know,
and I want to come to London and eat all the amazing food, right?
Amazing. Welcome.
Incidentally, as we finish off, we forgot to mention that I've written a lot of music for some frozen foods for London.
Oh yes, you mentioned, of course.
Yeah, for Shana.
We just got
samosas.
Yes, you did. You mentioned that yesterday when we were speaking. Because
so as Shakespeare said, music be the food of love.
Food of
Let's
love.
cook
I
on.
love it. I love it. And you're a foodie like me. So next time we will, next time when we meet in person, not only are we going to be eating lots of food, we'll also no doubt be putting all the ingredients together to bring, to put together one of the best songs ever. And I'm sure for any
well said. Well said. Yes.
for any corporate companies, if anybody wants to get in touch with corporate, anybody wants any corporate branding doing, do come back to
corporate. Okay, corporate. You know what I heard?
It's my British accent.
Sorry, you know what I heard? I heard okra.
Oh, okra. Well, we can make an okra curry. And
so maybe I thought you wanted something. The phantom of the okra is here.
Oh,
you never know.
Who knows? Who knows? Just watch this space. Who knows? Watch this space. Thank you so much once again for joining me live.
Thank you, Priti. Have a lovely evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.
I know it's night time there, so a very good night to both of you. Thank you so much for joining me live.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that brings us to the end of our very first show here on the Let's Chat to Priti Raichura show. It was such a pleasure being joined by the amazing Merlin D'Souza, and of course my lovely friend Gina Fernandez from Mumbai, from Eagle Events, who puts all this together with me and for me, with all the amazing stars that she brings on the program with me, Priti Raichura. I'll be back again next week. Do stay tuned, and I hope you enjoyed this live broadcast with me, Priti Raichura, luxury wedding planner and broadcaster. I will be back again soon next week on the Let's Chat to Priti Raichura show. From me, for now, goodbye to everybody. And do stay safe, especially to all you guys that are joining me live from London. Bye-bye.